What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here once again for a review for Ready to Love Season 5, Episode 9. The episode was titled Out of Town and Out of something else. What the fuck? See, here we go. The episode was titled Out of Town and Out of Bounds, you guys. So I'm recording this video for the second time today because I recorded it once. I had it on my phone. I transferred it to my laptop, edited it on my laptop, exported it to my computer, uploaded it, and in the I was moving files around, so I was deleting the unedited version from my computer and ended up deleting my edited version. So we're recording it for the second time. So if I don't know if I'm gonna give you guys the same energy that you got in the first one, but we're going to redo it. But before we get into the review, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel, and you guys are not yet subscribed to the channel, do me a big favor and hit that subscribe button. Stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for the end of it. Subscribe, hit the like button, share the video, turn your notifications on, and you guys, with that out the way, without further ado, let us go ahead and discuss Ready to Love for the second time. All right, you guys. So this episode, remember, now I didn't say this in the last episode, that when they eliminated Tasia, Tommy told the men to inform the women that they would be going on a trip to a resort, right? So we see them. Now, we didn't see everybody as they're en route to the resort. Only people we saw en route to the resort was Zadia, Camille, and Cornelius in one car. And then we saw Sabrina and Walter in another vehicle, right? So I'm going to talk about what happened in the vehicle with Cornelius and Camille and Zadia first, right? So Zadia was having a conversation with Camille and with Cornelius, right? So Zadia asked Cornelius and Camille, if, where do you guys plan on living? I'm like, damn, that's a little fast, right? But Camille says, once we get married, we're going to move in together. I'm like, Cornelius, you might want to run now, buddy. Like, you don't see that this woman is not so... But okay. But he says, and when she said marriage, she said, we're taking it one day at a time. And she's like, I'm mad now. For what? Because the man honestly answered the question. She's mad because he didn't answer it the way she wanted him to answer it. Cornelius, run away from this crazy ass lady. Like, the fuck? So then we find out that there's a group called the Brown Squad that consists of only 3 brown women on this show. Now, mind you, there are more than one, but they've excluded one. So the group consists of Mumin, Zadia, as well as Camille. I'm going to go ahead and call them the Mean Girl Squad, because that is exactly what they are. They are mean fucking girls. So then, and my thing is with Camille, because he was trying to figure out what was she upset about, because it really wasn't that obvious, right? Because he said, I said that I see us having a serious relationship. You do? Why? But she's like, I'm not mad. Yes, you are. And I hate when people do that kind of shit. Like, if you are mad and I don't know why you're mad and I'm asking you a question, excuse me, I didn't mean to burp your face. Tell me what the issue is so we can resolve it. The fuck? So then let's move over to the other car with Walter and Sabrina, right? Now, Sabrina, you kind of lost me when you asked Walter, were you guys a serious couple? I'm like, ooh. I really wonder how far into the filming process they were, because she's like, are we a serious couple? I would have told her, no. I still got my other connections that I'm trying to, fill out. So then she told him that she was an exotic dancer. She said she was an exotic dancer for about 10 years, right? So he's like, that's a bit of a red flag to him. A red flag? Nigga, where? How was that a red flag that she was an exotic dancer? She said she was, keyword, was. And was for 10 years. Girl, you must have made some good ass money. Damn. But what the fuck is his? I don't understand that. So then we see them all as they make it to the house, and Nephew Tommy comes in. Give him a round of applause. Y'all know how Tommy is. You gotta give Tommy a round of applause. I don't know why. I really don't understand why we gotta give Tommy a round of applause, right? So we know that this week is the ladies' week. So ladies, y'all go on and mix and mingle with these men. Tighten up your connections, because tomorrow morning, you're sending one of these fine men home. I was looking at Tommy's makeup. I'm like, ooh, Tommy, your eye makeup is a little, you got some, it is really black on your eyelashes. really bleak, right? So then we see that Mumin and Walter have connected, and they have connected, via music, right? So they've made this song called "Stay Right and Don't Go Left" or some shit like that, right? So he at the piano, he playing, she's singing, he's singing, and that was that. So I guess she thought that was everything. Okay, cool, I get it, right? Then later in the episode, we see as Sabrina is at the piano with Walter, right? And Mumin got in her feelings. Here's my thing with Mumin, girl. Who in the hell do you have a connection with? Like, who is Mumin's connections? Mumin's connections go with the wind, right? Mumin's connections are just whoosh, 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 whoosh. It's like with Mumin, if you just adjust her wig the right way, Mumin is like, oh my God, I have a connection to you. Thank you for adjusting my wig. I really appreciate it. Like, that would be Mumin. That would be Mumin. Like, seriously. But she was in her feelings, so she went over there where he was, and she started rubbing on the back of his neck, and she's like, oh my God, the vibe is off. I'm like, ma'am, he is literally sitting here having a conversation with Sabrina, and you butted your ass into it. The fuck? Go away, please. But she in her feelings. But we're going to pause here and move forward, you guys. Now, we go outside by the pool, right? So outside by the pool, we see as Zadia, she's talking to Naeem, right? And Zadia is asking Naeem, where are things standing with them, right? And it's really interesting when it comes to Zadia, right? Because you guys remember, Zadia wants these men to tighten up their connections. But Zadia ain't tightening up none of her connections. Speaking of Zadia, who the hell is her connections? Naeem, and I believe it was Dante, right? But she ain't tightening up none of her connections. But you want these men to tighten up their connections. Make it make sense, ma'am. But, Naeem is like, when it comes to him and Zadia, he feels like they have a great connection, that the chances are, really high for them. I'm like, oh, would have never guessed it. Look, it was a piece of hair in my mouth. I thought it was. My bad, you guys. So then we move over and we see Phil, and he's talking to Shiloh, right? So Shiloh is asking Phil, is he being real with his connections? He told her, hell no. But then he said, no, I'm just messing with you. I'm like, no, he's not. I'm like, Phil is playing a game. That's really what it is. And I've been feeling that way for a few weeks now, right? I felt like that with the last two episodes with Phil, especially when it came to Tasia, right? Because you guys remember that previous episode, not last week's episode, but the episode before that, he went on dates with different women, right? And I'm not saying that you can't make connections with the women, but I felt like it was 4 women and he went on a date with. I'm like, where did he come from? I don't remember him. So, and then like last week when he had that date with her and Tasia, I just feel like Phil is playing a game. You guys can let me know what you guys think about that one, right? So then we see Mumin, right? So she was sitting down eating some fruit, and then Walter went up to her and she gave him a cold shoulder. She's like, things are really different between us right now. She's like, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, Mumin, that whole situation that happened by the piano, it really wasn't that big of a deal. You're the one that's making this situation bigger than what it is. Then she went one step further, saying that she feels like someone is manipulating him, getting into his head, and making him doubt her and not trust her. I'm like, girl, where in the hell did you pick that shit up from? Like, that just came out of left field. Like, have you been sniffing the same? Have you been sniffing and drinking the same fucking Kool-Aid that crazy ass Camille is on? Like, girl, that shit made absolutely no sense to me. Now, you guys can let me know if it made sense to you. It didn't. Now, granted, yeah, I can see it how she would feel some type of way. Like, damn, we were just at the piano, but now you there. Don't let her see you sweating. But the fact that she said that, she feels like he's being manipulated, I was kind of thrown off by that. I was really thrown off by that. And then you barged in on their conversation, so you got what you got. You feel what I'm saying? But okay, whatever. Set yourself off, girlfriend. Set yourself off. But she was in her feelings, and I just didn't understand it. I really, truly don't understand it. So then I'm going to pause here, and we're going to move forward, you guys. All right, you guys. So here's what I've been talking about for the last few episodes, right? this show, the producers got to do something about this show. Now, this season is lackluster. Can barely remember half of these people. I just recently found out who the hell Phil and Dante were. Just found out who these two were. This cast is really forgettable when you really think about it, right? So we see Dante and Aisha, right? They're in the kitchen, right? And they're bonding over, I guess Phil is, not Phil, Dante, see? Forgettable. They are bonding over food, and he's a vegetarian or a vegan, one of the two. I think he's a vegan. I think that's what they said, right? So they were bonding, and they have a connection. Now, mind you, I'm like, where in the hell did this connection come from? Because I ain't never saw this connection with these two. Child, I feel like somebody's a stint. Is that, I don't know what that is that I just saw. Do y'all see that right there? We're gonna move on because it's kind of creepy, but I think it's that person's. Oh, trash can. It's a trash can. But Aisha and Aisha and Dante, right? They have a connection. So they've been talking to each other via phone conversations, right? And that's my thing with the producers. I'm like, that's why I feel like they should do what they have done now. A resort. Have the singles all in a resort so that way we can see what's going on instead of having to go to y'all's YouTube channel to see what's going on. Because y'all give us a little bit of a scene here, commercial break, come back, a little bit of a scene, commercial, come back, y'all give us a little bit of pieces, right? But we have to go to YouTube for the full story. What I think they could do is, they can put all these singles in a house, right? Have them live there. I don't know what their filming process is. I don't know how long they film, right? But have them live in a house together with each other. Have the cameras in there. Have them cameras on 24/7, kind of like what Big Brother does, right? And so that way y'all capture everything. So that way if, say, Sydney and Frank have a conversation, we see that. And then let's say Walter comes up and picks Sydney. Hey, let me have a conversation with you now. We see all of that stuff, right? Instead of us having to piece things together. And also what y'all could do, I'm giving y'all ideas, and I hope that if y'all take these goddamn ideas, y'all credit where y'all got these motherfucking ideas from, right? Remember, Jbsayzwhat, right? But here's another idea, right? So it's fine if the singles want to stay in their homes, right? That's fine. What y'all can then do is, so that way we know what's going on. One, y'all can let us see their text messages. Two, y'all can let us be privy to them phone conversations if y'all just record them, like, how like on Real Housewives when they have their phone, like y'all could have them a camera, just like a GoPro in their house that records them while they on their phone, and we can hear the conversation, so that way we know what's going on and we ain't stuck in the goddamn dark. Like, that makes it hard for, the viewing public and reviewers. Like, when we see people having connections, we're like, where did this connection come from? Oh, we've been talking off camera. How in the fuck did that help me? But okay, whatever. So then I'm going to breeze past this scene with Camille and Cornelius, right? So Camille, know that she done, messed up basically, right? Because she's being cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But girl, that's just, from what I'm gathering, that's just your personality, and it is what it is, right? So she took, I about to say controlling, but she took Cornelius outside to present him with a necklace, something about God. I wasn't listening and didn't give a shit. So then the producers asked him, do you think she's controlling? Hell the fuck yes. Cornelius just obviously likes red flags. He likes waving them. He likes playing with them because he just keeps looking over it. And then the fact that the woman is possessive as hell. Ain't no way I would be with somebody as crazy as Camille. But we're going to pause here, you guys, and we're going to wrap up the episode. All right, you guys. So next we get to this dinner scene, right? And in this dinner scene, this is where things got a little chaotic. And this is where I started talking about, why I feel that the brown girls are actually the mean girls. So Camille had, Cornelius was sitting on the side of Camille, right? She's like, oh no, babe, I want you to sit in front of me. He's like, oh, you want me to sit in front? Yeah, so I can look at you. Like, girl, what the fuck? Camille is batshit fucking crazy. It's just something wrong with that woman. Batshit fucking crazy is what she is, right? So then he sits in front of her, right? And I don't know how the conversation came up. I am literally repeating what I said in my first review. It's very interesting that everything that I've said, I literally said this in the first review. So you guys are not getting anything different. You guys are actually getting the exact same energy. So I'm happy about that, right? But so she was like, somehow the conversation came up about the connections, right? And she's like, oh, y'all ain't got nothing to worry about with that one. Girl, we know when you came into the scene, you laser focused, you zoomed in on to Cornelius. I did this in the first video, that's why I'm laughing. So nobody had a chance with him, right? So then Aisha asked the question of, if we were to vote him off the island, what would happen? Basically, right? She said, I'll fuck y'all up. I'm like, it ain't that deep, first of all. Like, he has no connections with anybody else, so why are you so upset? Like, I just don't understand Camille, right? Like, the whole premise of the show is to come on here, date around, and see who you have a connection with. Cornelius nor Camille have been able to do that at all. She's zoomed in on him from day one, and that's been it. So what is the purpose in keeping him around? He ain't got no connection with Aisha. He ain't got no connection with Mumin. He ain't got no connection with Zadia. He ain't got no connection with Sabrina. He has no connection with Sydney. He has no connections with the women outside of Camille. So what are we keeping him around for? And I've been wondering that for the last few weeks. Why do we continuously keep him and Camille around, right? Is it for ratings? What the fuck is it for, right? Because it's aggravating as the fuck, right? So then Zadia decides she wants to, her wig, decide they want to chime in, right? So she made a valid point, and I'm gonna give her that. But after that, she really lost me, right? She made a valid point, but it was also contradicted as well. Like, it was a contradiction. So, because it contradicted what Camille said. Because Zadia was like, we all have our connections, right? So if you say, oh, I don't have a connection with Frank, and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna fight for Frank. Absolutely, right? But that ain't what the fuck Camille said. Camille said she will fuck you up if you send him home. And the reason why Camille says she'll fuck you up is because Camille knows that if y'all send home Cornelius, the next week her ass is as good as gone. She knows that, right? The woman knows that shit. And then Zadia had the nerve and the audacity to sit there and say to Aisha that she came out very haterish. Haterish? How? She's speaking facts. Like, if we ain't got no connection with the man and he only has one connection, why do we need him here? What purpose is he serving? Like, Zadia was asking for an ass whooping. I don't condone violence by no means, but if Aisha had whooped her ass in that scene, I would have been here for it, right? Oh, I forgot something else that Camille said. So she says, it's not my fault that, some of you guys are doing a marathon while I sprinted. We'll just see you at the reunion. Nah, bitch. B-I-H. Because I was about to say something. Caught myself. Nah, girl, we'll see you at the reunion. You and all your facial expressions. Go get that checked out. Go get that checked out, Camille, because you are a nutcase. You need medication. Something is wrong with that woman, right? Something is literally wrong with that woman. I don't know what it is, but something is off with her. So after that, the guys took Aisha to the side, and I was on Aisha's side the entire time. And then the fact that Zadia and Camille kept talking, I would have said, you know what, Zadia, you got one more time to say something, boo, or I'm gonna come in there and I'm gonna readjust that wig on your head. Like, I would have said something. I would have said that to her. Now, I mean, granted, Aisha's wig needs to be readjusted as well, but that's neither here nor there. In this instance, I'm on Aisha's side, right? So then the next morning, we see them, and they're talking. Tommy comes in, and he grabs the ladies for deliberation, right? Now, with the deliberation, it was a little chaotic because Aisha was just telling how she feels, right? And then you got faces over there. Camille making faces. She wasn't really making no faces. Yes, she really was. You got her girlfriend Zadia over there, and they just looking at her all kind of funny. But Tommy ended that shit quickly, right? So they talk about who they don't have connections with, right? I didn't mention this in the first one. they talk about who they don't really have connections with, and the consensus was that they don't have connections with Naeem, and they don't have connections with Cornelius. Zadia got in her feelings when Aisha mentioned Naeem. Okay. Yeah, the consensus is out. As much as I don't like Camille, it's the same equal dislike for Zadia. I wanted to like Zadia. I actually did like Zadia, but now I don't see it for Zadia. Zadia can go. Honestly, when I look at all these people who are left, I still think that by the time we get to the reunion, not a one of these people are gonna be together, right? I just don't think that anybody, like, let's think about who all is left in this cast. How many people are left, you guys? Because I really don't know. All right, you got Frank. Let's go for the men. Let's go with the men. You got Frank. You got Dante. You got Phil. You got Walter. Cornelius. Naeem. Am I missing somebody? I think I'm missing a guy. I think I'm missing a guy. Like I said, you guys, I just don't think that anybody is going to. I think by the time we get to the reunion, ain't nobody going to be. No, who I can't even tell you guys who I think is going to make it to the final three. That is terrible. Because honestly, when you just literally think about it, who on this show is a couple? Who on this show could you say is a couple, right? Oh, I forgot to mention that Dante gave Aisha a massage. I don't, I don't know. This season is just not at all good, right? But let's wrap up the episode. Let's end the episode. So we end the episode with the two men that are in the bottom. So that is Cornelius and that is Naeem. So Camille is with Cornelius and Zadia is with Naeem, right? The fact that Camille was over there crying about Cornelius, I'm like, girl, you really need to go get a mental evaluation because there is literally something wrong with you. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna pray to God that if there's something that He fixes it. Fix it, Jesus. But that is a review, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell button so you guys are notified when I drop anything else. Share the video. And until the next one, you guys, stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.